Hi, I'm Johnny and welcome to the Hexy Beast. Now we're going to be trying something new today and I'm actually going to be covering a video game. So anyway, let's get on with my review of Warhammer 40,000 Boltgun. Okay, so Warhammer 40k Boltgun is a first-person shooter from Orc Digital and published by Focus Entertainment. I'm going to be playing the PC version today. It's also available on the PlayStations, the Xboxes and the Switch as well, I think. So anyway, let's read what Steam says about it. Load up your Boltgun and unleash the awesome Space Marine arsenal to blast your way through an explosion of sprites, pixels and blood in this perfect blend of Warhammer 40,000, frenetic gameplay and stylish visuals of 90s retro shooters. Well, with that out of the way, let's get on with our first category, graphics. Okay, so first category is graphics. I just want to say that I think it looks beautiful and I'm going to tell you why now. Basically, when I was younger, I grew up on a certain shooter, Duke Nukem 3D, and the way this game looks really like invokes the memories of that shooter. Although it does use like an old school sprite style with some like pixely style graphics, it also seems to take a lot of care with certain details. And as a board gamer, I can appreciate things like seeing dry brushing on the Space Marine's hands, or just general sort of wear and tear on the weapons look a lot like I've seen some people paint the figures. Another thing I really like about it is it does include some retro sliders that allow you to adjust the pixelation and the actual bitrate of the graphics, which I thought was a nice touch. There's generally a lot going on and I think this graphical style lends it well to low-end hardware. I think that's one of the reasons we've seen it on Switch. Another thing I want to bring up is that I think that with that level of speed and agility, having the graphics play as smooth as possible is very important, and I think I can say quite confidently that this game really does hold up well in the performance side of things when it comes to graphics. Okay, so that brings us on to audio, and I have to say this is one area where I think the game really excels. The audio here is full of really crisp, deep, sort of visceral gun sounds, and just listen to the sound of this shotgun shell hitting the floor. See what I mean? It's just sort of good, nice big boomer, shootery, sort of like big highs, nice lows, very bassy. I tend to use it with a sub and it really does shake. There's also a lot of nice sort of like vocal elements to the game, so there is a taunt button which so far I can't see it has any impact on gameplay whatsoever, but I do find myself tapping it after a particularly rough fight. It's one of those sort of soundscapes that really does invoke that nostalgia in me of older games, like I said before, Duke Nukem, Doom, Hexen, even games like Unreal Tournament 1. It really does sort of invoke those old school vibes of those late 90s shooters, and that really comes through in its soundscape. So I have to say it scored really well on sound. So let's move on to the next category. And that brings us on to gameplay, which is one of the things I really do have to talk about, because you kind of have to accept that it's very much playing with that nostalgia feeling. The gameplay pretty much breaks down pretty linearly. You don't get any upgrades to your character, you just kind of find the weapons in the levels and then you keep them until the end of the chapter. That's one thing that kind of did bug me a little bit, is when I started a new chapter, when I moved from chapter 1 into chapter 2, it kind of takes all your weapons off you, apart from that bolt gun, which I have to say is just a brilliant weapon to start out with. It's a weapon that I found myself coming back to more and more, even though I unlocked different weapons moving forward. Like you've got that bolt gun, you've got that really meaty sounding shotgun, that plasma rifle, and of course then you've got that fully automatic machine gun which doesn't need any reloading, which is just brilliant. Have a look at it. And as well as that, mainly the gameplay revolves around you finding some card keys in order to progress through doors. Like I said, it's really unapologetic about how old school it is. That gameplay may be a problem for some people, but for me it really was something that I'd been missing in shooters that I didn't really realise I'd missed until actually playing this. Seeing the red mist fly everywhere, and like as soon as I found out that I could put that sprint button on toggle, I kind of never let go of it. I just click it once at the start of the level and just play everything at full speed. It just really is that visceral of a game. It's very fast, and it's very fluid. I will say that there are some parts of the game, like now and again you would find a bug where like a sprite would get stuck inside an enclosed space, and as well as that there were some times where I kind of wondered about the AI. The pacing was kind of off a little bit. I found myself sometimes with like, I'd be in the middle of a gunfight and then I'd be presented with some kind of portal puzzle or some environmental puzzle that would just kind of slow me down a bit more than I would have liked in this kind of game. As well as that, like I said, it's very much, you kind of have to like how it doesn't have those progression systems. Like, it's really nice for me to play a game that doesn't have leveling for a change, because even in Doom 2015 we saw a leveling system and a way to upgrade your character, and I think that this, although simpler, is really nice at like capturing that retro feel. And the other thing I think it does really well is it has very good enemy variety. A lot of things that you might recognize from the 40k universe if you're the kind of person that does get involved in this kind of lore. There's definitely a lot of things for you to see here, even down to some of the bosses which actually made me gasp at some points. It's generally a lot of bullets and a lot of gore flying at any given time, and I have to say that gameplay wise this game is something that I've kind of been wanting for a while. Okay, so that kind of brings us on to the final scoring for Warhammer 40k Boltgun. I just want to say I've given it a 7.5 out of 10. And although I really did enjoy the game, I think a lot of the reason I'm enjoying it is probably down to my own personal nostalgia with this kind of game. But I also feel that the graphical style might not be for everyone. So for that reason, that's why it's got a 7.5 out of 10 in this review. Anyway, please let me know what you think of this new review content down in the comments. If you've been enjoying the content, please feel free to smash that subscribe button up there and check out another one of my videos by here. Anyway, I've been Johnny, you've been watching The Hexy Beast. Thank you for watching, and most of all, stay hexy!